Remember when you used to make good games? Square, you remember that? How about you fucking do that instead of this shit?
I am Razio.
Square Enix, man. They're fucking cooked, man. And let's be real before we get into it. There's a couple things I want to preface with. First, when we read the new harassment policy, I want you to keep one word in your brain that is not mentioned, a word that is not mentioned in this policy. And then there's another word that is mentioned in this policy, and I want you to figure out what context it's in. And because it's the word that reveals more than anything else. That word is partner. And I want you to pay close attention to that. And let's be honest here. Square, when was the last time Square released a good product? Let's take a look. Final Fantasy 9 and 10 were good, right? 8 was kind of bad, but 8 was really bad, I'll be honest. 9 was fantastic, amazing, masterpiece. 10 was, it's okay. 11 was good. But that was all still Squaresoft, right? I think 12 was okay. But then 13 was dog shit. 10.2 was dog shit. All 13 sequels were dog shit. 14 1.0 was absolutely terrible. 14, A Realm Reborn was good. Heavensward was good. Stormblood was decent. And then it kind of all started going downhill for 14, and we're seeing it now where 14 is an absolute shit show. It's a broken joke at this point. 15 was mid. It was okay. I didn't even like it enough to keep playing it. 16 was a huge piece of shit. What was that one? Forspoken? Absolutely tanked. There's Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth were awful, but in my opinion aside, they didn't sell nearly as well as Square was hoping they would. Remake and Rebirth. So Square's down bad. And any normal company, well, not normal, I should say. I guess this is the normal now for AAA studios, but any company with a brain would go, people aren't liking our products. Maybe it's us. Maybe we should fix something. And then all they'd have to do is look back and go, okay, why did Final Fantasy 1 through 10 and 11 sell so well? And why is everything after not? Let's go back to what we used to do well. That's all they had to do. But instead, what they're trying to do is control the narrative. And let's just get into it, and we'll see what's going on. So let me grab this here. It's going to be a flashbang. Sorry, boys. Damn. Dude, that's bright. Okay, we're going to read this. Look, it's not even that long. It's very short. And we're gonna find the truth here. So let's just dive into it. Remember those two words: subjectivity and partner. Subjectivity, keep in your brain. Partner, look how it's used. Square Enix believes that the feedback, comments, and requests received from our customers are essential to the advancement of our group's products and services. Therefore, we are committed to strive to apply your voice in improving our products and services. Okay, we got the corporate speak foreplay here, right? This first line here is the equivalent of someone going, "I'm not racist, but," and then saying the most fucking racist thing you've ever heard. Same thing. Okay. At the same time, see, I'm not racist, but at the same time, There are instances where certain customers take actions directly or through our support centers or towards our group executives, employees, partners who are involved in the creation and distribution of our group products and services that constitute, in quotes, customer harassment. Remember that word I told you about? Subjectivity. Such as, and hold on, we need some music for this, man. And I've got the perfect one. I've got the perfect fucking music right now. Here we go. Such as, and this is a big one, boys. Denial of personality. What could that mean? Who does that describe? Any thoughts? I don't know. I'm just getting flashbacks of like people with blue hair, extreme septum piercings, carrying around packages of Kleenex like they're fentanyl. But let's go on. Violence, defamation, intimidation, subjective. Advance notice of wrongdoing. Advance notice of obstruction of business. Harassment. What's up, KT? So, such actions do not only prevent our employees and, there's that word again, partners, from engaging in their work with a sense of security, but also causes disruption to other customers. Oh. Square Enix will not tolerate harassment and will take action as necessary. Okay, we just got through the first paragraph here. Now, first of all, I don't know if Square knows this, but I'm going to fill them in if they don't, because, you know, I'm a good guy like that. Violence, defamation, literal intimidation, that's already illegal, Square. You don't need a policy for that. It's literally already illegal. If someone is physically violent towards you, they go to jail already. You can just use the regular laws that exist to enforce that. Okay? Defamation is illegal. Right? That's already illegal. The big thing here that I plucked out, denial of personality. What that means is, that can mean anything, but what it specifically means, is if you don't validate their mental illness. It's like Dave Chappelle said, man, you can believe whatever you want about yourself. I don't care what you identify as. Do you, brother or sister, right? You do you, but at what level do I have to participate in it? And here they're saying you have to participate in it or you're breaking their harassment policy. Hey, Square, shut the fuck up and make good games. How about that? But we're just in the first paragraph, all right. Group customer harassment policy. Should Square Enix... That's really loud. I'm going to turn this down a little bit more. All right, that's better. Should Square Enix determine that an individual has engaged in an action against one of our employees or, there's this word again, partners, that exceeds socially acceptable behavior, subjective, or is harmful, subjective, We reserve our right to cease providing support services or to refrain from providing our group's products and services. Period. Full stop. Okay, so far out of all the things they've listed in paragraph 1 and halfway through paragraph 2, how many are subjective? Denial of personality, subjective. Violence is not subjective. Defamation is not subjective. Intimidation is subjective. Advance notice of wrongdoing is subjective. Advance notice of obstruction of business, that toes the line. Harassment, the most subjective thing on this planet. Like literally, you know, in the workplace, the difference between a woman getting sexually harassed and not being sexually harassed is how attractive the man is that said what they're saying. That's the difference. If a woman finds you attractive, you can say the most fucked up shit to her. She'll be flattered. If you're not attractive, you say the exact same line. Hey, you're fired. Oh, dude, no, this timing is right on schedule, and we'll get to that. All right, we'll get to that, brother. All right. Where such action is egregious. Okay, that's subjective. Or with malicious intent. That toes the line a little bit. Square Enix reserves the right to protect its employees and partners to take legal action or criminal proceedings upon consulting the police and or lawyers. So it's gone beyond, hey, you said something really mean and fucked up on the internet about a Square game or a Square employee, and you get your account banned, or, you know, your Final Fantasy 14 or 11 account banned, or you get, you know, like, you can't buy a Square product. No, now you're in court, brother. Square will take you to court. Gotta be fist fucking me, man. Apparently, I don't know this for certain. Japanese companies have been implementing the same policy years ago precisely because harassment has gotten unhinged. Okay, but there's a huge difference between unhinged. Because obviously there's some fucking lunatics out there. Like, you shouldn't be sending death threats to people, which, by the way, is illegal. And a lot of people get it confused what a death threat is. If I tell you to fucking kill yourself, that's not a death threat. It's fucked up, but it's not a death threat. Now, if I call you up and say, hey, I'm going to come to your house while you're sleeping and slit your throat, that's a death threat. Big difference. And by the way, the second one, that's illegal. It's already illegal. It's already on the books as illegal. You can't send death threats to people. Okay. Actions which Square Enix considers customer harassment, subjective, or to exceed socially acceptable behavior or is harmful include, but are not limited to, the following examples. Acts of violence, violent behavior. Fair. Already illegal, though. You don't need a policy for this. That's already illegal. The laws are already on the books that being physically violent towards people is illegal. Okay? But again, these days, just saying something that someone doesn't agree with is considered violence these days. It's fucking stupid. All right, let's move on to the next. Abusive language, intimidation, coercion, duress, excessive pursuit, or reprimand. Abusive language. That's subjective. Intimidation. Okay, that's fair. Coercion. That's not subjective, really. Duress. Kind of subjective. Excessive pursuit or reprimand is like stalking. Yeah, but guess what? That's already illegal. Stalking people is illegal. Defamation / slander. Already illegal. Here's the big one again. Denial of personality. So technically, according to this policy, someone at Square could say they identify, you know, as a bulldozer, and I could say you're not. You're a dude, and they could sue me because I'm not participating in their delusion. I know that's an extreme example, but that's literally what's on the page here. Most of the directors and devs at Square get harassed really badly. The policy should have been implemented years ago. Now, this policy is dog shit, and I'm going to get into it. You'll understand. I did my research, man. Personal attack. including email, contact in contact form, comment or post on the internet. That's a big one. A comment or a post on the internet that is a personal attack. So let's say a Square Enix employee releases a game, right? Let's say Square releases a game and I go on Twitter, X, whatever, and I go to, or shit, no, I'm a YouTuber, so I'll use that as an example. Let's say I make a YouTube video and I'm saying, dude, this game is trash for XYZ reason. And then somewhere in the video I say, also, this guy or person, you know, looks ugly. Or they can consider anything a personal attack. I could say this person sucks at making games. I've said that many times about certain Square employees that were involved in Kingdom Hearts and in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, according to this policy, they can sue me. And that it doesn't, that what I just doing that on YouTube is fair use. That's not even me, like, that's not even defamation. Defamation is much more specific. Me giving my opinion about somebody's skills at their job is not defamation. Now, if I made up straight up lies about their personal lives and tried to pander it as truth, that's defamation. It's not defamation for me to say that, like, you know, Nomura fucking sucks at his job and shouldn't be allowed near a video game, right? That's not defamation. That's just my opinion. But according to this now, you can't have opinions. They're trying to control the narrative here, but we're going to keep moving. Advance notice of wrongdoing, advance notice of obstruction of business. Persistent inquiries, repeated visits. So if I keep, like, if I spam, like, you know, Square support with, hey, when are you going to add this to, you know, random thing to Final Fantasy 14, and I send them an email every month, like, hey, when are you going to put this in your game? They could sue me now because of this. Repeated visits, that falls kind of under stalking if you're constantly going into a Square headquarters and trying to stir up shit. That's fair. Trespassing by visiting or staying in an office or related facility without permission. Hey, guess what? That's already illegal. Trespassing is already illegal, Square. Unlawful restraint, including via telephone calls and online inquiries. Okay. And here's a big one. Discriminatory speech and conduct regarding race, ethnicity, religion, family origin, occupation. I hate to break it to you, Square. You might get away with that shit in Japan, but in America, we have this thing called the Constitution and the First Amendment, which means I can say whatever the fuck I want. No matter how racist, bigoted, or stupid it is. I mean, the internet's proven that most people are stupid. Just look at the shit they say on TikTok. Thank God that's getting banned. But yeah, like, you can't sue somebody for saying stupid or profane shit. If you could, everyone would be in jail because everybody is a little bit racist in some way. Can they come to my home server, Mexico, and destroy me? Probably. They'll try to extradite you, brother. This is ridiculous, man. You can say anything you want, in America anyway, about someone's race, ethnicity, religion, family origin, occupation. You'd probably be a dickhead if you did, but it's still legal. Infringement of privacy by taking pictures or making video recordings without consent. This is what you said. This is a weird line because in the United States, it's legal to record. You don't have to have consent to record in a public space. You don't have to have consent to take pictures of whoever you want in a public space. Now, it's illegal to be filming, tapping people's phone lines and filming, like, who has a phone line anymore, really? But and looking, like, through someone's window with a camera, that's illegal. But public space recording, you don't need consent. Sexual harassment. Again, like I pointed out earlier, sexual harassment is extremely subjective. What some people will consider flirting, others will consider sexual harassment, depending on how physically attractive you are. Stalking, already illegal. Repeated stalking behavior. Okay. All right. Undue demand. Unreasonable changes or exchange of product or requests for monetary compensation. So now if you say, hey, Square, your game sucks that I bought. Final Fantasy 16 sucks dick. I played it and it sucks. I want a refund. They can sue you. Oh, dude. Unreasonable response or request for an apology. Hey, Square, you should apologize to me because of how fucking ass Final Fantasy 16 was. I can get sued. Dude. Including face-to-face response or request for an apology specifying the position of our employee or our, here's that word again, boys, partner. Excessive requests for the provision of products and services exceeding socially accepted norms. So, if you're like, dude, this game sucks so bad, I want 5 free copies of your next game. You can get sued. Unreasonable and excessive demands for punishment of our employees. So if you say, hey man, this guy is ruining all your games, you should fire him, they can sue you. They're fucked, Slinky. They're all going to court, man. Now, how often Square is going to act on any of this is probably not often. And here's the thing. Why did Square release this? Right? I'll tell you why. This is an intimidation. They saw all the feedback that YouTubers, streamers, and are, you know, the credible game journalists, which there are very few, the Reddit forums, Reddit posts, their own public forums for like their games, they started to see everyone hate their games. This is an intimidation tactic. They posted this to pretty much say, hey, streamers, YouTubers, journalists, you know, Reddit weebs, shut the fuck up. Instead of looking internally, oh, what did we mess up? No, they want to control the narrative and they're telling everybody to shut up. You can't criticize Square, their games, their employees, their decisions they make. You can't. You can't do that. Or they have the right to sue you. Which they kind of don't. Most Western countries anyway would not back them up if they tried. But I'm going to go back to this word. Zeno streaming from prison tomorrow. Hey. Maybe, right? But remember that word I told you. Partners. I did some research, boys and girl. Guess who's a partner of Square Enix? I'll give you a hint. It's the largest tumor in the gaming industry. Sweet Baby Inc. Square is partnered with Sweet Baby Inc. Square Enix was listed last year as one of Sweet Baby Inc.'s clients, partners, on their website. And then mysteriously, Square Enix disappeared from the list. And you say, oh, does that mean that Square grew a brain and was like, we can't partner with these people, they're toxic? No, because they literally the next week, Sweet Baby Inc. removed all their partners from their list. Why could that be? Did Sweet Baby suddenly just lose all their partners? No. What happened was partners said, hey, don't post a list because every game you're involved with fails. And we don't want people to know you're involved with us. So if you want to keep us as a partner, you know, for your DEI bullshit, we don't want people to know who we're in bed with. It's all very corporate, scummy bullshit. Sweet Baby Inc. is the worst thing to happen to gaming. And gaming was kind of the first industry to fall to the woke mob. And I think now that the world is healing, I think, though, they're going to be the last to get out of it. And other companies have followed the same path. Again, Square hasn't released a good, solid game in decades. And what other company is like that? Blizzard? Most of Blizzard's success came before their merger with Activision, right? Have you seen the Vulkan developers saying they removed pronouns because people didn't like them? I didn't see that, but good for them. Yeah, I did see the male-female thing. The woke shit is dying, and I don't know why Square is doubling, tripling down on this. They just want to control the narrative at this point. They want... Instead of fixing their games, it's easier to just try to silence everybody for them. This is going to bury the company. They're already fucked. They're already up shit's creek without a paddle. And they're doing the same thing that Blizzard tried to do. They're doing the same thing that governments try to do is, hey, shut up. What you're seeing with your own eyes isn't reality. But people ain't falling for this shit, man. Rip Square Enix. Like, literally, this is going to tank them. I already know tons of people now that say they refuse to buy another Square product. The last time I officially purchased a game from Square Enix, Squaresoft, whatever. They haven't been Squaresoft since 2003. The last time I purchased a Square Enix game that I enjoyed, like fully enjoyed and had almost no complaints about it, was probably when I bought either Heavensward or Stormblood. It's a long time ago. The believer in me wants me to think it's unfortunate timing, but it really just feels like they're doing it because of all the criticism. Oh, they are doing it because of all the criticism. This is their response to the criticism. Instead of, we're getting a lot of criticism. And of course, there are some outliers, some unhinged fucking people that take it too far. Absolutely. Should never tell people to kill themselves or to you know, send death threats or stalk or break into the building. That's extreme. But really, how often does that happen? Instead, but their response is, we're doing everything we can to make it illegal to criticize us. And this is pathetic, man. How the mighty have fallen. Like, but I think all companies are kind of doomed to go this direction the bigger they get, right? This happened to Blizzard. This happened to CD Projekt Red. This happened to Bungie. This happened... I mean, EA's always sucked dick. But this is kind of the route, right? That they take. There's so much subjectivity in here. So many of these things they say that are illegal to them are subjective. And the ones that aren't subjective and are clearly objective are already on the books in every country that's civilized as illegal. And it's no surprise, because Sweet Baby Inc. is involved. Like, literally, the entire company of Sweet Baby Inc. are a bunch of fucking degenerates that are all mentally ill. And they've openly stated their goal is to destroy what games are. Like, to destroy the male fantasy, to destroy pretty much just fun in games. That's their goal. Right? Is to inject their political ideology into games. They don't actually make any games themselves. They just pollute anything they touch. Much like wokeism does everywhere. Everywhere you put it. Look at Hollywood, right? Our own governments. Any kind of media that has it injected into the school systems, they all turn to shit when this woke crap gets put in. And you know what? If Square doesn't, like, change course in the next year or two, they may be in a position where somebody else can buy them out because their stock will be so low. And it's kind of sad to see, man. The company that made Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, Tactics, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, be this. I read something the other day about Square Enix being the EA of Japan. Interesting. I haven't read that, but that they had definitely haven't always been that way. They used to be. I mean, if you look back at in the 90s, right? 90s, early 2000s, what companies could do no wrong? Everything they released was an absolute fucking banger. Blizzard, Square, those are the two biggest ones, man. Anything Blizzard and Square did was perfect, absolutely perfect. This is what happens, though, man. When you Nintendo too, yeah, Nintendo, Bungie, true. And one thing to Nintendo's credit, I'm not a huge Nintendo fan. They gave in to the woke crap much less than anybody else. They kind of just stuck to their formula and did their thing, man. To see this, dude, they're just doing the typical, hey, instead of, because it takes more money and time to make good games, instead of doing that, we're just gonna try to scare tactic everyone into shutting the fuck up. You can't criticize Square anymore. Oh, fuck that. I'm going to criticize them all the time. If they make garbage, that's what I'm going to do. No one's free, dude. Blizzard makes shit, I criticize it. Nintendo makes shit, I criticize it. Square Enix, you make shit, I criticize it. Stop trying to control the narrative and just change the narrative so that the true narrative is a good picture. Wouldn't it be better if instead of trying to control what everybody says on Reddit and YouTube and Twitch and your own forums, wouldn't it be better instead of trying to micromanage and control all of that, if the people that came to these outlets were just saying positive things already? You don't have to control anything because your games are good. Remember when you used to make good games, Square? You remember that? How about you fucking do that instead of this shit? But this is just pathetic. Square should be ashamed. Absolutely ashamed. Their magic is gone. They've lost the script.